Straight out of a blockbuster from a Hindi film Munna by MBBS, a dummy candidate sits for the exam happens in real life. Yes, it has happened. In the state of Rajasthan, we have uncovered two cases where dummy candidates were sitting for exams. And which exam? The most prestigious exam in India, the NEET, which is a dream for millions and a gateway to become a doctor. This story does not involve just middlemen. It involves doctors, students, as well as desperate middlemen, and the scam goes up to 60 lakhs. Today, let's uncover what happened and how bad our medical system failed to identify these culprits and how they were found. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Everything with Dr. James. Today we are going to be speaking about the NEET scam which happened in Rajasthan recently. See how this scam works. For this scam to work, you need three people. First is the aspirant, a solver, and a mastermind. The aspirant usually will be from a very well-off family. This person would have given NEET once or twice, but he wouldn't have got through NEET. Now, the peer pressure around him would have been so high that telling him why you are not securing seat. Now his mind will be going through other ways like, can we take a shortcut? But without knowing that the shortcut exists, his mind is not going to go into this illegal route. Enter the mastermind. In this case, the mastermind was a community health worker named Dr. Subhash Saini. He was a doctor. He told this aspirant that you don't need to write NEET, but still you'll become a doctor. Now the human mind wavers. Every time when you try hard for something and you don't get it, and now you have a shortcut. And he said, okay, enter now the solver. This solver was doing MBBS in a medical college in Bharatpur. Our solver told the mastermind that he will write the exam for the other person but for a fee. Now the negotiations began. The money which was exchanged between the aspirant and solver along with the mastermind was 60 lakhs. Now enter the meticulous process of creating fake ID for the solver because he is going to be writing the exam in the aspirant's name. First, they will Photoshop the photo in the admit card such that the solver looks just like the aspirant. But it doesn't stop there. They create a fake Aadhaar card and another ID card also such that there is no doubt that this person exactly looks like that person and he is that person only. Okay, all this they will pass. The most important thing is once you enter into the exam hall, you need to write the handwriting for the signature. Now this signature will be compared to your signature when you join college. So this solver will practice this aspirant signature many times such that he does the same thing. And everything is set and the scam is unraveled on the exam day. When the exam day comes, the solver just goes in like the aspirant and he puts the sign, the photo is the same, he writes the exam, comes out, the NEET results come out. Now our aspirant is an MBBS candidate. Without even writing the exam, a well-deserved student has lost his seat because of someone who didn't write the exam only, and the person who has wrote the exam is already doing MBBS in some other college. This is how this scam worked. Let's see whether these scams were just theory or it played out in real life. The first case was a case of a doctor called Dr. Sachin Gora. Our Dr. Sachin Gora is a final year MBBS student from the very renowned AIIMS Jodhpur. But there was an allegation that he never gave NEET UG in 2020. Now the team started investigating him. Now once they investigated him, they realized that the exam was not given by Dr. Sachin Gora. It was given by somebody called as Dr. Ajit Gora, who was doing internship in 2020 in Bharatpur. Now when this came unraveled, they were confused how it happened. This is where our middleman, Dr. Subhash Saini, was caught and he had charged an amount of 60 lakhs for Ajit Gora to enter into the exam hall and write the exam in the place of Sachin Gora. Now let's take the second case. Recently, CBI has booked a person known as Vikas who was doing his MBBS second year in a college in Rohi. This person has allegedly impersonated a candidate in NEET UG 2023. And who is that candidate? This candidate is Pravin Goddara. This person is doing MBBS in a college in Noida. Now, as you see in all these scams, the persons who are actually impersonating these candidates are doctors. They are within the system and they are corrupting it. This is unacceptable and this has to be changed. If these scams are so well planned, why did they get caught? For this, you need to understand that every scammer makes mistakes. Usually it is because of ignorance or arrogance. In our case, it is a little bit of both. The National Testing Agency is the first line of defense against these scammers. They have two checking processes. The first is the physical checking process when the candidate enters the exam hall, where they check the photo ID and check whether they are the same, and then they see the handwriting signature as well as the thumbprint. Then it gets uploaded in the computer. When the candidate enters the college for admission, the same process is repeated, and if it is checked that whether they are the same. In the case of Sachin Gora, they found a mismatch of the photos. And when they saw the photo, we knew that Ajit Gora gave Sachin Gora's exam in NEET UG 2020. In this, the photo was a blue shirt in a cream background. Now, when they went and examined this photo, they found something unraveling here, where Ajit Gora has given the NEET UG exam in 2019 for himself, and he secured a seat in Bharatpur. The same photo is there. How ignorant these scammers are that they have used the same photo in 2019 as well as 2020. Now the police understood that Ajit Gora has impersonated Sachin Gora. In the second case of where Vikas gave the exam in the place of Pravin Goddara, what they found the difference was the mismatch in the signatures. The signatures were different in the exam time and when Pravin Gora joined the college. So now these both are caught. The police conducted a midnight raid and they arrested all of them. When they uncovered, what they uncovered were fake ID cards, fake photos which were doctored using photo editing software, and they caught the middleman, Dr. Subhash Shaini. This story is not about a single corrupt individual or a single scam. We have caught these persons, they are in jail. But this story is about a broken system. Imagine a NEET UG aspirant who has been preparing for a year. He just misses the cut. He's 16 or 17 years old. Now he's preparing for another year. He comes to know about this scam. What happens to his motivation? He comes to know that somebody who didn't give the exam got into MBBS and he studied for 4 years without getting caught. He got caught based on a tip-off. Had this tip-off not been there, the digital footprints wouldn't have been traced back. Now, this is where we need to mend this broken system and give hope to the people who are preparing for this exam, because 24 lakh people give this exam for 1 lakh seats. This system has to be mended and put in the correct path, because there is a social contract between the system and the students who are giving the exam that if you work hard, you will secure an MBBS seat. If this trust goes, this is never going to come back. And this is not the only scam. There have been several scams over the years. For example, putting Bluetooth and going into the exam hall and telling questions to somebody sitting across in another hotel nearby and them telling the answers. Exam paper leaks. All this has to be stopped, and the system is broken and it has to be mended. So what can we do to prevent such scams from happening? The first thing we can do is the stricter invigilation when the candidate enters the exam hall. First, check whether his handwriting is proper. Second thing, do iris scans. Iris scans is difficult to impersonate. And the third thing which you can do is use AI-based softwares. These AI-based softwares will have facial recognition features. In this way, you cannot bring another person inside, because if another person comes inside, it will be red flagged by this AI software. Of course, sometimes AI software will be wrong, but you can at least check whether this is the same person who's giving the exam and have these AI recognition softwares in the college where the person is joining. Of course, all this requires time and money, but these are some of the suggestions which can help prevent these scams, because this puts a dent in every candidate's mind who's giving the exam, thinking that the system is broken and however hard we try, we won't be able to get a seat, because people who don't give the exam get into the seats, and this is not possible for us. So this motivation has to be given back to the candidate that the system is not broken, and help them trust the system more with these stricter norms. Thing which we can do is reduce the chaos in exam hall. I've given a lot of exams in this medicine field. What I realize is these exam centers are very chaotic and crowded. What we can do is, where 700-800 people are giving exam in the same hall, better to reduce the crowd and increase the invigilation and train the invigilators, saying that these are the possible scams which can occur and these things should be monitored. Because all these exams are outsourced. Companies like TCS and many companies only run this, because we don't have the manpower in the National Testing Agency to employ all of them full time. So train them properly in such a way that tell them these scams can occur and be careful. And the last thing which we can do is bring stricter law to these scammers. Scammers should understand that if they make a mistake and they get caught, they will be in prison for life, their degree will be cancelled, and a heavy penalty has to be put for the aspirant, for the person who's giving the exam, as well as for that middleman or the mastermind. This will put fear in the minds of scammers and they will not attempt to do this. These are the steps which we can take to mend our broken system. Conclusion, we realize that story of this NEET scam is more emotional than it is about a scam and people getting caught. We need to understand the students are now not trusting the system, thinking that even if we study, we are not going to get. People who don't give the exam are getting the seat. I'm telling this again and again because I've given these exams. I know how tough it is. I'm not saying other exams are not tough. I'm just saying what I've given is tough, so I'm speaking right out of my experience. And the same scam can happen in any other government entrance exam. So bringing stricter norms in all this will bring the trust back into the system, such that this is a merit-based exam and the system which is broken will be mended. Do like, share and subscribe me for more interesting videos.